Hey guys, welcome back to the JPM Performance channel. It's once again time for a shop tour. It's been a couple weeks because we were at Mid-Ohio Racing, but we're back. And we're rolling right through May, so here we are, May 22nd. Next week will be our last week in May somehow. Next thing you know, it's going to be June, which means it's about time to hang out at the pool because my racing is over until the runoffs, which we'll do a little race recap when we get down to the other end of the shop. But for now, we'll talk about regular things going on in the shop. So got back from Mid-Ohio, actually got back on Monday. We actually raced in the morning on Sunday, so I was able to get actually past St. Louis Sunday night and then kicked it in Monday, unloaded, back to work on Tuesday. So on the bench, look at this, another Miata differential. Isn't this strange? This is actually a spec Miata differential for Walter Hilderman's son in St. Louis. You can see it's all restored. He actually needed a new housing, so I sourced a housing. You can see that I did a brace on this arm. We do these because Mazda not puts these notches in the housing, and this reinforces it, so this is where they break. So a little reinforcement piece here. You can see it's all restored. 4.3 spec Miata Torsen, ready to go, looking good. Just got in, and when I mean just got in, just put it on the scales. This is Lake and Downs' car, and he is out of Wichita. And what he's wanting to do, so he bought this car from a guy, and what he's wanting to do is he's wanting to take it to the track like a track day car. I think he does some track days with NASA, I think, something like that. But this car's got a lot going on, as you can see. It's got a lot of ground effects, big wing in the back, big splitter in the front. It's actually got individual throttle bodies. So it is here to get a track alignment. So I was kind of looking at it just by eye, and you can see that the car has like no camber in it. So we're going to do a track alignment, and then the car has a mega squirt in it, and it is not running very well. So we're going to get the ITBs balanced. ITBs, individual throttle bodies, for those that don't know what that stands for. We're going to get these balanced and get this car tuned. And on the dyno, I know it's just a stock engine, but there's a lot of good things going on here. It's got a nice radiator. They've done some cool stuff. A lot of louvers in the hood and on the sides to try and control the air. So my guess is down the road he'll build a hotter motor and get a little more power out of it. But for now, we'll make it handle so he can get on the track. So looking good there. Did get Wade McBride's car ready for him to be picked up. So it was here to have the engine and transmission removed, which I'm going to rebuild over the next many months. He will be here next week to pick the car up. You can see I've got it sitting on my roll-around Go-Jack little roll-around dealies, because that right front is not behaving very well. So I've kind of got his pile sitting here. I'm going to make him take all of this so I don't have to store it. You know, his power plant frame and the header and the exhaust and things like that. This is all going to go to his garage while I work on the engine and transmission and he gets this fixed. So it'll probably still be here next week for the shop tour, but he will be here like immediately afterwards to pick it up. Nothing on Ken's car this week. She's just sitting here marinating, thinking about what we're going to do. Towards the end of last week, I got a few more things done on Perry's car. So you can see I've got all of the, he wanted some radiator ducting to come up to the intercooler here. So I did a couple of pretty trick little side pieces and an underneath piece to, when he puts his nose on, he can get that integrated into the rest of the chassis. I think we had, I didn't have a couple of these Clecos in place, but I did get my new little fancy angled drill to be able to get that finished up. And I did finish the exhaust system. And about the only thing you're going to see on the exhaust system is over on this side where I put the exit, which is coming right through the rocker. So with this big Ford 8.8 differential that's in here, there's just not a lot of room to run the exhaust past the diff and out the back. So I actually went straight through the side of the car. Now, when he gets his body work on here, odds are he will trim this up to whatever he wants, whatever angle he wants. So I left it a little bit long for now, but the exhaust system is done. So next is to jump into the wiring, which is the most detailed project on the car. So that's what we'll be getting into next. I want to finish up Lakin's car. I wanted to finish that differential, kind of get a few odds and ends completed this week before I jump back into this car. But we'll be jumping back into it pretty soon. And you can see the shop is just plugged to the gills. I mean, we're kind of got to be careful here. We're kind of walking around things. The forklift is sitting here because I had someone on the dyno earlier. All of the body work for the Camaro now is laying out here. And I did find a spot right here that I'm gonna have to fix. So I think this probably happened in shipping, but I've got a really good crack right here in this rear tail section that I'm gonna get fixed. And I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna take it over to my body guys that are doing body stuff for me now. I actually have Cliff Ira's Del Sol over there getting the left side of his car fixed, still from the runoffs last year. We're kind of getting it pristine, perfect, new paint, the whole left side. I expect to pick that car up probably tomorrow, and I'm going to take this over to them and get this fixed as well. But you can see the rear bumper pieces, comes in two pieces, is all sitting right here. So this stuff is all extremely big. Takes up a lot of room. Okay. Mid-Ohio results. Let's start with something new that you guys are going to get a little taste of next week. And we're going to give you a taste of it right now. But I got a new, you know how we've been dealing with some of the in-car footage, the exposure rate and the lightness and the darkness and how it's been a little bit of a problem. John had a great suggestion, and we actually got an Insta360 X5, which is a 360-degree camera that I mounted it for the weekend right in next to the Smarty Cam. And because Saturday's race was so short, I'm going to give you the first lap right now. So it looks pretty cool, right? What we're going to do is get Sunday's race edited, which was a much better race. So Saturday, we did one lap, and then we got a full course caution. So what had happened was Frank Schwartz actually got tangled up with Vincent LaManna, and so we have a full course caution. They're up in the keyhole, we have a full course caution. And we're going around and around, and I'm looking, and it's like nothing's happening. It's like around and around and around and around for 20 minutes, and nothing was happening. As it turns out, the bumper reinforcement on the Mini Cooper, if I was told the story correct, actually hit the back axle of the Volkswagen, de-beaded the tire off the wheel, and hooked the bumper into Vincent's wheel. And so they were trying to apparently pull these cars apart, and they couldn't get them apart. We saw ridge lines up there. You could see them trying to pull the cars, and then they got the tow trucks up there. And it was like, I mean, for the rest of us, you know, we spent 20 minutes. I mean, we did about 8 or 9 or 10 laps under full course caution. So that was the end of Saturday's race. Now, as you just saw in the first lap 360 camera, Matt Brannon, nice aggressive move, and got up inside of me and got around me on the first lap. And all I got, fortunately, was a little donut here. So we're gonna have to do a little wrap on the door. This was actually beat in, and I popped it out. But I think what we can do here is we can rewrap this door a bit. I know, John, just what you wanted to do. But I'm going to kind of pop this door out. I'm not going to replace this door. I'm getting tired of body work on this car. But he just gave me a little kiss going up into madness and slipped on by me. And I figured, well, I've got 20 minutes still to see if I can get back around him. Didn't get the chance. So Matt got the win on Saturday in our one-lap shootout. And then on Sunday, awesome race in a lot of different ways, good and bad for some folks. You'll see in the video that the in-car, which will come up next week, hopefully, lots of action between people breaking stuff, blown motors, wrecks, lap traffic, yellows. Whew, it was a lot. And the whole time, Matt was like right on my tail. So we're kind of doing the old back and forth. He never did get around me, but he really made me earn it, and I had to focus really hard. This is one of the things I'm really enjoying about H production is these really good drivers. So Matt and I were both within just a couple of tenths of each other. And I do know that the Fiats are getting a little bit of a weight break starting in June. So I think that's going to help them very well, and they're looking very competitive. So I had a really, really good race on Sunday. Ended up picking up the win. So that's the end of my Super Tours for the season. Customers. Mike Taylor was there in his STL Integra, and I know he finished second on Saturday. He ended up going off on Sunday, getting grass in the radiator, and then had to come in, get it out, and go back out, but did an awesome lap time. Got down into the 38s on Sunday. He and I had been talking about it. I was kind of giving him trouble because he was just about 4 or 5 tenths ahead of me after Friday, and I'm like, come on, Mike, you can go faster than this. And sure enough, he sure did and got going. So awesome job for him in STL. I don't know if he got back to third. I'm betting not on Sunday. I didn't look at the results. I think he was maybe a lap down. But in E-Production, we had MX-5 Cup cars, 3 of them up front. So those guys basically finished, I think, 1, 2, 3 on Saturday, and then Sunday, I think only one of them finished, but he did win. And so that was E-Production. In F-Production, Mason Workman, with the sweep of the weekend, was qualified like 5th overall on Saturday, and was 1st overall at the end of the first lap. And that was our one-lap shootout, and so he won on Saturday. On Sunday's race, he was qualified the same, in the same position, but Kevin Ruck blew another engine to the moon. You guys probably saw that in the footage. Lots of smoke. and Mason jumped right out to the lead. Craig Kima was chasing him in his Super 7 for a while, I think for about 15 laps, but Mason led every lap. Craig ended up braking, and Mason swept the weekend, so good for him. Awesome. David Bednarz was there as well. Had his own little issues with Saturday. I'm trying to think of what happened to him. It's hard to say exactly. I can't remember everything, but I know on Sunday he ended up spinning in oil. Man, there was oil on the track on Sunday. It was a bit of a mess. So lots of customers that were there. It was good to see everybody. So now I'm into full-blown summer mode. And what does that mean? The runoffs engines are already coming in. I've got all these cars to work on. The Camaro's still to deal with. Perry's car. Got to get to working on Ken's car, plus the engines and the differentials and the dynos, and going to start working on the cutie car as well, of course. So runoffs prep has begun, which means a little bit of everything. I think we're going to be doing a full gut job on the little Mazda 2. Of course, you guys will get to see that if you watch the Super Tours. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel so every week you get notified that the shop tours are coming up. So appreciate you guys watching as always. Keep your eyes open for the Sunday race in car. I don't know if John's going to do a combo of the 360 stuff plus maybe some of the Smarty Cam stuff. I think it's going to be pretty cool. Obviously, I haven't seen it on, on the computer yet. I've only seen it on my phone, but man, is it cool. So if you haven't seen these little Insta360 things, they're pretty cool and very affordable. So you guys will all get a chance to see what that's all about maybe next week. So keep your eyes open for the in-car shop tour next week. Hopefully I've got some of this stuff cleared out of here. I appreciate you guys watching. As always, have a great rest of your week. Yeah, we're rolling into summer. And if you have any questions or comments, as always, hit me up down below. I'll get right back to you. See you guys next week. Take care. Thanks for watching.